Welcome back to the channel, people. It's your boy Ducata, and we back with another banger. If you're new to my community, I just want to say appreciate y'all tapping in, checking in with your boy. If you haven't done so, turn on your notifications, hit that subscribe button, and drop a comment in the video, or drop a comment below in the comment section after the video. Yeah, we just got some more updates, man. It's time for us to talk now. Like, it really looks like we're going gung-ho in for tonali. Like, it really looks like we're going gung-ho for tonali. I'm not mad at it. After doing some more research, some more player, some more individual player video watches, breakdowns, things of that nature, I do like the potential and what we're getting from a tonali in terms of helping the team progress forward, become more, just more dominant, more difficult to deal with when we have the ball, even out of possession. Just the amount of running, the amount of attention to detail he provides when he runs. If he's trying to make certain plays, push the ball forward, just that type of mentality, right? Helping the forward team line drill, creating chances, just being a runner. If I had to compare a similar player profile towards the tonali, keeping all biases aside, I would say a Dominic Zabasalai or Zobel to many. I think Tonali's player profile is similar to his in the terms of they just keep running. They keep running. They keep trying to do something on the ball, just trying to create something. And that's a part of the game that I can appreciate. And that's a part of the stem that I can appreciate. And respect. So in seeing that, in asking for that, I think a player like Tonali's profile, a player that has Tonali's skill sets, I think will bode very well for our team. Even more so than Bruno Guimaraes. When it comes to that 6 profile, that defensive holding midfielder, our DM, we need someone that has some sort of class, some sort of bravado about them that just kind of gives us that reassurance that the back line, the back four, our defense will be protected as best as we can. Rodri before the ACL, Casemiro in his prime days with Real Madrid, Thiago, Thiago when he played for Liverpool, even Bayern as well, right? So there's certain players, like, not every day a brand new 6 or a player with that type of mindset, that type of skill set is even alive. I don't say alive, but is of the top quality, the top drawn to provide said, just to require said skill base, said performances that we need to help us to win, lift silverware, because that is the goal, right? So getting a player of Tonali's profile, more so than a Bruno Guimaraes, I'm okay with that. I didn't think we should be looking at it Bruno Guimaraes, even though I appreciate all that what he's done, and his work rate, his engine. I just look at the age, him being 29 come November, him having a serious injury, whereas Tonali, I believe, is much younger, like anywhere between 24, 25. I believe so. I could be even lying and pushing data on his age. So he is younger with a lot bigger upside. And if we're looking at profiles that kind of match what our vision is, we want players in and around 26 or younger. You know what I mean? like if I look at Embuemo and Cunha, besides, well, once Casemiro leaves, I know Embuemo and Cunha are like the oldest of our, I guess, newer signings, them being 26 and 25 respectfully. Bruno's the oldest one, but that's our captain, so I'm not even mad at it. I'm not even mad at Bruno being the captain. Where I see improvement for us is we need to, not really improvement, but we really, really, really have to replicate the kind of window that we did last year, because it's through that window that I ultimately believe helped us in achieving the positions that we're in right now, provided we did have a managerial change. So in my previous videos, getting a world-class manager, which would lead to world-class tactics that requires world-class players. Like, that's my domino effect. And I'm still on the support for Luis Enrique if he's leaving PSG. Now, if I'm Luis Enrique, why would I leave PSG? What merit, would make sense to leave PSG, unless you legit are just tired of it and want something new. But the team that he has, the players that he has, the system that he has, these players love him, man, and they'll like run through a brick wall for him. You can see it in the way they play, in the way they operate, So I have to respect it. You gotta just tip your hat to it. You know what I mean? So if he's willing to leave, I would love for Luis Enrique to come. If he's not going to leave, which I don't expect him to, I personally wouldn't want Julian Nagelsmann. I know he's a good coach, a great coach, but a coach that has to split his time between domestic and his national team, I just don't want that, because there's too many, conflicts of interest. You know what I mean? Especially on the German team, when you have, players like Wirtz and stuff that are Liverpool players, right? There's certain tactics and principles I wouldn't want being shared. Whether it would happen directly or indirectly, I personally just wouldn't want it. So to be honest, I believe going into this season, it will be Michael Carrick. I know we're all, haunted by what happened with Ole after he became permanent and we really rebuild. But I think, I don't know, we'll see with Michael Carrick. He has the tools and intangibles to be that good a coach. I believe he knows what Manchester United's DNA is, having played here for so many seasons and won under Sir Alex Ferguson. So yeah, I believe he will be it, but in the same breath, the same token, you know what I mean? We still need our proper recruitment, and I think, I'm okay with it being Tonali to start. I think it just can't be Tonali, and I know the reports are saying that we're waiting for our placements to be finalized to ensure that we are in Champions League, which I can respect. And it's also going to be dependent on the manager change, who we see, who we expect. I know players are putting, their names in the hats behind certain names, like certain coaches like Carrick and whatnot. My thing is just, let's not overstate the fact that we're only playing one game a week when he came in. So steadying the ship is easier in that regard. But nonetheless, I get it. I understand it. So yeah, like I said, we'll see how it looks like come the end of the season. My biggest thing is, regardless of who is our manager, I just need to see what our recruitment process is. I need to see what my recruitment process is and who can we link to that 6 role. You know what I mean? early names, I like Adam Wharton. I think Wharton has that class, that gene to just be great, to just hold, to link up play, to push balls forward, to just play the forward pass, to just be a threat. Yeah, man, I think Wharton has that build. So yeah, like if we're able to, like if we can have a window where it's like a Wharton, Tonali, and say, I don't know, a one of a Anderson or Baleba, you know, for my midfield department in that window, I'm okay with. But I feel like for this window, we need to focus on our midfield and our defense. Like that is a big thing, and that'll be in another video that we actually discussed about. But like our defense needs to be revamped. Like, I'm hoping that with Champions League placements, because you got to understand, without us not even having any form of Europe, we had, if you include, I want to see if you include Dorgu from January into this summer as well, we spent about 230 million, pounds. Like we spent money, and that was with no Europe, like not even like no Europe, not even conference, there's no Europe, right? So if we're able to make Europe now, more specifically Champions League, if we were able to spend 200, let's say 230, if that can now be increased from 230 to like, I don't know, 300, 310, let's revamp the midfield and our defense. You know what I mean? Like we have to start somewhere until we start selling players and stuff like that, which we're gonna have to as well, just to kind of add to that kitty. Any player, especially like, this is how I would do it. In all honesty, this is how I would do it. Any persons that becomes, I guess, available from the forward line that can induce a proper sale, we would then take that money and then reinvest with getting another forward or forwards if possible. Like that's the kind of mindset I'm thinking of right now, versus the actual money that we're getting from our placements and so on and so forth. We would use that to revamp the midfield and defense. But any sales that come, any like of our, I guess, anyone that we sell, so anyone that we're able to make some money off, that money that we used to make will then go into our forward line, will then go into the attack, into helping the attack, right? And I think that's how we should be looking at it for right now. If our goal is to win by 2028, we have to get our recruitment right. Like we have to get our recruitment right, and that also means the coach. Like we have to be right. We're only 2 years away from our goal, so we don't have a lot to play with in terms of getting things right. So the appointments of our coach is really big, and then some of these players. So from a midfielding perspective, only looking at England, so only looking at the Prem, I would say Tonali, just because of how heavily linked we are to him. I would say if we can get Tonali, Wharton, and or a Anderson / Baleba, I'm personally, just because of Tonali and stuff, but we have Wharton there. We would have Kabe, we have Bruno. I know these signings impact Kabe, but for us to proceed to the next level, I want, like I said, I want duels up and down the pitch for, and fights for placements. Like I want all of us, like, I want Kabe having to fight for his place. I want Bruno having to fight for his place. Every single position, I want you having to fight for your place to ensure that the standard of being a Manchester United player is number one. Like that is the end all be all. Like that is what I need, right? So we'll see with these updates. You know, we're heavily linked to tonali starting in the summer. Apparently, there might be a release clause available depending on if they don't make Europe, which we expect at this point that they will not make Europe. So we'll see what that release clause is. I'm not trying to overpay. I'm not trying to pay more than, 70, 75 for him, including add-ons. Like, I'm not trying to pay more than that. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we still have another, 2 weeks to go. We have one more week for the internationals. Plus, we don't play because it's FA Cup right away. So we gotta wait. Yeah, we gotta wait. This is the downside of only playing in one comp a week, getting limited in the rest. So this is our fate. But yeah, this is your boy Ducato. Smash a like for me. Turn on your notifications. Follow. Hit that follow button. Show some love. And as usual, it's GGMU all day. Let's get it.